All right, guys, what's going on? Jamie here. Just wanted to do another update video for you guys. Stuff going on in the BSC farming space. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on with slime and where I'm at with it. We'll also talk about EvoDefi, their migration, and their exploit. Apparently, there was an exploit that occurred, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll talk about some better news. um, Coin swap doing really, really well. Coin holding up in this, I don't want to call it a bear market. We're definitely going through a correction, but that's going really, really good. And then we'll take a quick look at Comet Vault as well, which is an ROI contract over on BSC, how I'm doing with it, and where the contract is at. So, real quick before I get started, everything I talk about on my videos and on my channels for pure entertainment purposes only. You should never take it as financial advice. I mean, why would you take financial advice from a stranger on YouTube? That's insane. Um, do your homework, do your due diligence, do your own research, obviously. And if you do decide to get in and you're okay with risk, and let's face it, all of this is risk. Only put in what you can afford to lose, guys. Okay, risk capital only. Also, follow me on Telegram. I will leave a link for that down below. Telegram is going to be my central hub of updates. A lot of times, especially if I'm, traveling or something like that, or if I'm just simply not in front of a computer, the things will come up. I'm not able to make a video on it. I'll usually post it over on Telegram. By the time you're watching a video on it, sometimes it's like a couple of hours later. And in this space, you want to have news up to date, right? So follow me on Telegram. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon, all that good stuff. So that being said, let's just jump right into it, guys. Evo DeFi, as you can see, Evo DeFi, a farm over on BSC. They've recently opened up on Matic. I've been using Evo DeFi a lot, especially for their bridge. Because they do have a bridge you can use to send funds over from Binance Smart Chain over to the Matic network and vice versa. A lot of you guys have asked, how do I send funds over to Matic? There's a couple of ways you can do it. This is actually a super simple way to do it. You can actually send USDC from Binance Smart Chain, send that over to Polygon, and then once your USDC hits your Matic wallet, um, you can use it over on Matic. You can go over to QuickSwap and swap it for whatever coin you need. If you're going to jump into a farm, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure, guys, if you're using this bridge, that you're sending over the right coin. I've seen some people say, hey, I've inside of Evo DeFi's Telegram, I've seen a few people say, I tried to use the bridge. I had it on USDC. I accidentally sent over the wrong coin, whether it be Gen or whatever. Make sure you're, just like when you're doing anything else on crypto, make sure you're double checking before you do it. So you're sending the right coin, and then it completes. You send a little bit. Never send like a big transaction, especially if it's your first one, because something can happen. Something you can lose your funds. So always send a test deposit first. And I do that. That's my rule with everything. But anyway, yeah, the bridge is working perfectly fine. Okay. You do need to have Matic on the other, over on your Matic wallet to cover any fees for any transactions. If you need a little bit, you can go to Matic.supply. I did a video on that. Matic.supply. You'll get enough Matic in your wallet via their faucet for, I believe, 2 transactions, and then you should be good to go. Anyway, that's not what this video is for. This video is for the 2 things. Number one is the migration. Sorry about that. It says here Evo DeFi migration to Pancake V2 liquidity. Now, apparently, um, there was an exploit. Let's head over to their Telegram. Take a quick look at that. It says here, let me see here. We'll go over the post on their on their exploit first, and then we'll cover the um the migration. Give me a second, guys. Let me just get a sip of this coffee real quick. Sorry about that. So it says here, attack on Gen postmortem. This is obviously after the attack. There was some type of exploit that happened. Let's read about it. It says here what happened. It was an attack similar to what has been seen with many other BSC projects. This attack was similar to uranium's, but the exploit on Gen was much more complex. Great. The attacker, the attacker used a staked NFT and then called a function that enabled them to update their reward per block. This was done via the update power function. Here's the juicy part. The hacker stole 450,000 Gen in total. All funds that are staked in Gen Pool on BSC are safe and will be accessible once we have migrated to GenX this afternoon. Okay. So once they do the migration, I believe it's 1-for-1. You're going to get their new coin, GenX, or your Gen, right? Now, when the hacker stole 450,000 Gen, I don't know what exactly they did with it, if they were able to dump it on the market, or, I mean, price hasn't really changed. So I'm wondering what happened. As you can see here, I mean, it's dropped a little bit. It was at $1.50 a little while ago. It was at $2 yesterday. So yeah, it did drop. I mean, that drop could have been just because the entire market is down. Um, Usually, when you have something like this happen, like on Pancake Bunny or on Uranium, I mean, it drops to practically almost nothing, right? So, yeah, it's interesting. Go back to Telegram. It says here, NFT APR bonuses have been disabled until the migration has gone through. Unfortunately, harvests earned during this period were lost. We will not be able to reimburse these. Once the migration has gone through, we are planning a burn and a buyback to help increase the value of Gen X. So yeah, if you had some Gen that you didn't harvest during this, you know, during this fiasco, you probably lost that. Okay, I had some as well. This is why you need to harvest, at least daily. At least daily. At least that's what I try to do. If I get really, really busy, or if I'm running around, or if I'm traveling, I may miss a day, but I'll go back into the farms when as soon as I can, and start harvesting, because you need to harvest. And again, I don't know what your strategy is, if it's harvest and sell or harvest and do whatever, but leaving withdrawable funds on a farm or on any platform, whether it be a passive platform, staking platform, what have you, um, you know, why do that, right? Um, so the exploit is now closed. It can't be called again. Blah blah blah. We already covered that. Um, this I guess they were updating on the Telegram you know, all the different updates during this fiasco. So here was the update on their migration process. Okay. Now apparently when they do this, when they complete this, and this clock hits 0, there will be like one button that you can hit. Yeah, TVL definitely got hit, as you can see here. But there's one button that you can hit that will so it's simple. It's a simple process. You'll be able to migrate, and I believe, like I said, you're going to get 1-for-1 Gen X, their new coin for Gen. You don't have to remove your liquidity, break your LP tokens, go and create new LP tokens. At least from what I've heard and from what I understand, from what I'm reading over on their Telegram, you don't have to do that. It'll be one simple function. So we'll see what happens here. Of course, if you're not in EvoDefi, no worries. You don't have to worry about that. But that's what's going on with EvoDefi. The other thing I want to talk about was Slime. As you can see here, the price of Slime, $1.74. Some of you guys have asked me, am I still on Slime? Am I still farming on Slime? I am farming on Slime still. However, I did take out quite a bit. I mean, there's some drama going on with their dev team. Apparently, who knows what really is going on behind the scenes, right? There's always some type of drama, some type of story. Me, I don't really get caught up in that. My concern is, is the platform working? Is it not working? What's going on? Um, but yeah, there's some type of drama going on behind the scenes where apparently there's a breakup with their dev team. The remaining dev team, I believe, is hooking up with a new lead developer. They're going to be starting a new project called, I don't even know what it's called, to be honest. I got to go and read. It's called something else. So, what's going to happen with Slime, I don't know. I do have a little bit. As you can see here, I'm still farming. I am in a non-degen pool. If you're in a degen pool, you probably are getting hit pretty hard. If you're in a non-degen pool, assuming all the buttons still work and everything is still functional, you should be all right, right? Like right now, I'm just kind of farming this coin for free, even though it's dropped considerably in price. The pool that I'm in, you know, it's has nothing to do with slime, and that's why sometimes you want to jump into these non-degen pools. I know it's easy to FOMO into these degen pools. You get the native token, the APY is some ridiculous number. Yeah, I don't get caught up in that. I kind of, even if I do get into that, I'll kind of manage my risk. But a lot of these farms, I'm jumping into these non-degen pools so that something happens to their native token, it dumps, there's an exploit, something happens, there's a hack, dev team wants to have a divorce, and the price of their token drops. Assuming that, like I said, assuming that the contract still works and all the buttons are still working on the website, I'm usually okay because it's a non degen pool that 9 out of 10 times I'm in. Of course, sometimes I'm, you know, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I do degen into some of these pools. But like I said, just manage your risk. Don't FOMO into anything. Don't get crazy. Easier said than done in this space, I know, but stuff like this happens all the time, right? So now on to some good news. Um, CoinSwap, price of CoinSwap, price of CSS holding up really well in this market correction. A lot of these BSC farms and farms in general are down. But yeah, you can see here the price of CSS still holding up at $8. Um, Give me a second, guys. So yeah, this one's been hovering around $8 to $9, so that's pretty awesome. You can see here that the APRs are holding up quite a bit. I'm getting 282% in the uh in the pool that I'm in, which is 0.77% a day. Some of these are higher. Obviously, the two that have the native token in it are going to be the highest. But yeah, really, really pleasantly surprised at the price holding up during this down market. If you want to check out CoinSwap, I do have a link for CoinSwap down below. Check out the link tree. Um, but yeah, this is pretty awesome. Also, BuySwap, the price hasn't really changed much. TVL going up. We're still in here farming. Um, so yeah, this one here is steady moving as well. Big community over on BetFury because of the partnership with BetFury and BuySwap. There is a huge community over on BetFury that I don't know if they're jumping into BuySwap, but obviously they're exposed to BuySwap for lack of a better term, and some of them may jump in, which is awesome. I'm still actually making money from BetFury, even though it's not allowed in my country anymore. I just use a VPN. But yeah, very, very, very big community over on BetFury. Last but not least, for good news, always like to end the video on good news. Is Comet Vault, Comet Swap. This is their ROI contract that they launched. And yeah, it's been a couple of days. Usually, when you have a contract, an ROI contract that's paying this much, 2.2% a day, all the way up to 5.6% a day. I'm in this one right here. Usually, the contract goes up and then levels off and then goes plummets. So far, we haven't seen that. Knock on wood. Who's to say that that's not going to happen in a couple of days? We don't know. But yeah, this thing has been going up. 758 BNB total staked right now. Of course, it's not skyrocketing up like it was, day one, day two, but it's still going up. Usually, I'm expecting this thing to start going downwards at this point, but it's still steady moving upwards. So we'll see what happens. Again, can't guarantee that's going to continue to happen. But that's pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to talk about some of these updates on these farms. Um, so yeah, this is going to be happening in about 3 hours if you are in Evo DeFi. And again, even if you're not in Evo DeFi, this is a good project to check out because they do have that, that bridge from Binance Smart Chain over to Matic Network and vice versa. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. So again, we'll continue to see what happens here. Hope you're having an awesome day. Um, hope obviously by the time you watch this video, chances are this migration already occurred. So go ahead and check it out. Check out the price of their new coin Gen X. We'll see what happens. Might be a good entry point. Might be a good time to get in. Who knows? But yeah, you just got to keep a loose eye on everything and see where there's opportunities for you to make gains. Look, again, guys, all of this stuff is risky stuff. Only put in what you can afford to lose. And by the way, I've been doing a couple of videos on passive platforms. I'm going to do a video later on passive platforms that I'm in. Um, some of them have an MLM component to them, some of them don't. And some people have said, well, those are ultra risky because they're centralized. It's not any more risky than farms, guys. Okay, obviously, yes, it is centralized. Those passive platforms. There's people behind the scenes that are, I guess, controlling the platform. They can exit scam at any point. We know that, but how is that any more riskier than these farms? As you can see, there's exploits, there's rug pulls. Some of these devs might be behind these these exploits and rug pulls. We don't know, right? We've seen it with uranium. We've seen it with a bunch of stuff. There's price of these tokens plummeting. Obviously, every day the APY on these farms they do drop. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that contribute to the risk of these farms. I'm not saying don't farm. Obviously, I'm farming. I'm farming a lot, right? I think I'm actually overexposed to these farms, so I'm kind of looking at my strategy at this point. Um, so I'm not saying not to farm, right? Do your own homework, do what you want to do, but one is not more riskier than the other. Okay, they're all risk. They're all risky. The key is to get in as early as you can, and then hope for the best. Right? Get in early as you can, whether it's a farm or a centralized platform or what have you. Try to withdraw out your seed capital, right? What you put in your initial deposit. Try to withdraw that as soon as you can, so that you only have profits in these farms, in these platforms, in these whatever you want to call them, right? Because if you have only profits, or majority of it is profit, something does go sideways or something bad happens, you're somewhat whole, right? At least you got out what you put in, right? You're not overexposed to the risk at that point anymore. So again, have stuff in your portfolio, have a mix of, whatever. That's why, even though I catch heat sometimes from people saying, why are you in these passive platforms? Because you want to have a balanced portfolio, right? Um, anyway, this has gone on way too long. Let me kind of pull it back. Guys, hopefully you guys are set up to have a great day. Let's see what happens with this migration in less than 3 hours. And yeah, I'll talk to you on the next update. Peace.